So for today, we're going to be trying out Jund Death Shadow. Not my typical style of deck, but I did that stupid little Channel Fireball quiz where they said, what deck should you play in Modern? Which was their way of getting a bunch of emails for their email newsletter. And it said I should play Shadow. Didn't specify Grixis or Jund or whatever, but I like Goyf as a card, so we're going to go ahead and try the Jund variant. What is the purpose of the deck? Basically, resource denial with Dot Season Inquisition, creature removal with Lightning Bolt and Fatal Push, and then you have a Bobble, and your goal is to get your life total as low as possible to make your Death Shadows as big as possible, and while doing that, hopefully also getting your opponent's life totals a bit low, so that way Scourge of the Skyclaves can be a big creature. And since you're making them discard and you've got artifacts and instants and sorceries and creatures and yada, 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 Goyf will hopefully be pretty big too. So the idea is you've got these big creatures that don't cost a lot of mana, and you'll smack your opponents with them. Hopefully that'll be enough. You also got Hexdrinker, which is your smaller creature, but if you put 8 mana into it over time because you don't have anything else to be using your mana for, it becomes a 6/6 with protection from everything. That's pretty decent. So, goal, get yourself as low as possible and kill your opponent. All at the same time. As far as the sideboard's concerned, what we've got rocking is a pair of Kozilek's returns for those pesky pro-red creatures and just has a decent board wipe. A third Teamer Battle Rage, because if you're ever casting this card and the card resolves, you basically win the game. Unravel the Aether to deal with those nice pesky enchantments and artifacts such as Walking Ballista or Heliod. A Singleton Veil of Summer, so that way you can make your spells uncounterable or give them hexproof from black. 2 Kroxa, because the card's a great card. It's just not too phenomenal in our main board plan, but we can swap into it and utilize it in a sideboard sense. 2 more Assassin's Trophies to just deal with those pesky permanents. Yes, they get a land, but being able to hit anything, pretty decent. 2 Damping Spheres, because Tron. And then Soul Guide Lantern for other Lurrus decks or a Graveyard-esque combo. This one is just a list pulled straight from Goldfish. I have 0 experience piloting Shadow, so don't expect super optimal plays here. With that being said, let's hop into a league and see how we can do. All right, we won the die roll. We will gladly take the play. Reveal Lurrus. And let's see what kind of trouble we can find ourselves in here. Facing a Yorion deck. So we've got a Scourge, a Goyf, a Push, a Drinker. Sure, we'll keep. I don't know if it's better to lead on Inquisition or Hexdrinker. I'm tempted against the Yorion deck to kind of lead on this Hexdrinker here, so that way we can go Hexdrinker first, and then we'll be at 17, then we can Inquisition, and then level up if need be. Alright, Verdant Catacombs, Fetch and Shock. I don't necessarily need the red right now, so we're not going to focus on that. We're going to do this. Green Hexdrinker, pass the turn. See if opponent has what they need. Alright, opponent. Buddy, it's not difficult. Hey, this is on the right. Fun. Alright, they fetch. Hmm. When it's deciding what they want off of this Windswept Heath. Assuming we're facing some kind of 4-color control here. 4-color Urion. Basic Forest and Utopia Sprawl, huh? Okay. Interesting. I like the foothills here. Let's go ahead and Inquisition see what opponent's up to here. So it's 5-color, considering how they named black. And then they're planning on Omnath. Okay, well, there goes their Kaya's Guile. And they've got a Verdict that we need to note. Go ahead and level up once. It doesn't do anything, but we don't have to worry about them doing anything right now. Because that is their hand. So we can make it a 4/4. Start beating face. They have 3 mana this turn. They play out the plains. Did they rip the Guile? No, they put... Okay. They put Yuri into hand. They pass. Upkeep, we draw. Not a bad draw. Let's go ahead and level this guy up twice. Now we've got ourselves a 4/4. And we'll hold up. I mean, they can't Omnath this turn. They can't Verdict either. Upkeep, and now we draw. TBR. Interesting draw. This fetch, or not fetch, but just shock. Got ourselves a 3/4 and a 5/5. Swing for 4, take him down to 9. And then we'll level up once. Then we'll have 4 mana to make it 6. We'll go ahead and make them just have to use it. 4, 5. Do 6 there. Pass the turn. This way they kind of sort of have to just Verdict. And if they're Verdicting our 6-drop, or a 1-drop, and only a 1-drop, and then we go Scourge and Goyf, I feel we're in a pretty good spot. We know that their hand is Omnath, Verdict, Vista, Stomping Grounds, Yorion, 2 unknown. So we're in a decent position here. Not saying it'll be impossible for us to lose, but... So there's the Vista. They go ahead and they crack it. Yes, they get probably an island here, so they can Verdict. There's the verdict. Destroy all creatures. Sounds good. So we have a 4/5 and a 5/5. Okay. Upkeep, we draw. We draw another Hexdrinker. Cast Scourge. Cast Hexdrinker. Give them threats that they have to deal with. Let's see if they have another verdict. Green, black, what? Assassin's Trophy. Utopia sprawls their Triome. Okay. It's what? Red? Yeah. 5 colors. Is this Niv or is this Omnath? Niv is fine. Push the Omnath. There we go. All right. Get the Omnath out of the way and then go swinging for the hills. So, control. We want Veil. Second Battle Rage isn't awful. Push is pretty bad. It's great in certain scenarios. So that's probably what we'll be cutting here. Cut pushes. We could bring in Croaks. Yeah, cut all the pushes, bring in trophies. Because trophies allows us to hit more than just Omnath. Don't need Lantern, don't need Unravel, don't need Kozilek, don't need the Sphere. So I can see making an argument for Kroxa. However, I didn't have a lot in terms of controlling aspects. They seem to be much more along the lines of that Bring to Light-esque style. Furion and Lurrus revealed. We've got a Scourge, Thoughtseize, Bloodstained Mire. It's a 1-lander. I don't like it. It does a lot, but with only 1 land, we can't keep. This we can, and we'll bottom an Inquisition. Because we can lead off on Thoughtseize into Scourge or Goyf. We'll see what we can do here. Overgrown Tomb tapped for opponent and they pass the turn. Upkeep, we draw. We hit a Bloodstained Mire. Pretty good. This, fetch and shock. We'll lead off on Thoughtseize. Alright. Renin 6, Utopia Sprawl, Supreme Verdict. They don't have any fetch lands. We'll hit their ramp. So they could... They're gonna Pillar Wren. Yep, Pillar Wren. Awesome. Thank you, opponent, for playing directly into what we want. They go upticking, no fetch lands. Upkeep, we draw. We draw Bobble. That's great. Red black Goyf bobble. Let's see what opponent's going to be drawing. Swamp. Cool. Second Goyf. So they will be able to get this Ren and 6 out of Goyf range. Which is a bit unfortunate. We don't really have a way to stop that. Green. Is there one last card? Abundant Growth. Okay. They draw. Upkeep, we draw. TBR. Interesting. Swing this at... If we go at them, we hit for 4, and then we have Scourge. Yeah. I'm gonna say I don't like them having a Ren 6 here. Especially if we're trying to play down this Hexdrinker. So they'll have white, white, blue in one. So we just go ahead and pass here. Because next turn they've got... This is Verdict from their hand. Assuming they go Snow-Covered Island. Verdict. Yep, okay. That is fine. And then they go up with the Ren and 6. And now our Goyf's a 5/6. It's pretty good. Trophy, huh? Goyf drop a 5/6, pass the turn. Opponent plays down their Snow-Covered Swamp, and then goes up with the Ren 6. Assuming this is going to be Bring to Light. Either Bring to Light or Niv. It's Niv. Niv hits the battlefield. And they get... Nope, nope, nope. They get to Fairy and a Helix. Okay. Upkeep, we draw Thoughtseize. Beautiful. Fetch for Blood Crypt, shock it in. Thoughtseize our opponent. Oh, they have second Niv. We'll take second Niv here. Just because that's too scary to not deal with. Goyf is a 5/6. Attack them. See if they want to block with their Niv. If they do, we get to push the Ren. If they don't, we say okay. Take them down to 15. And we've got a... Because this, I'm assuming, is probably to fairy bounce Goyf, is their plan. Go ahead and trophy their Niv. Now they do this and probably bounce Goyf to buy them some time. Green, I guess they have another abundant growth. So we know their hands Helix, Ren, something. Yep, they bounced the Goyf. Land here wouldn't be terrible. White, green, black, Urian to hand. Alright. So that's their hand plus 2 unknowns. They go ahead and return nothing. Sounds good. Upkeep. Blah. This. We draw. We draw exactly what we wanted there. Goyf. Scourge. So they can gain a bit here, which would decrease our Scourge down to a 2-2. They could kill the Scourge if they really wanted to by hitting the Scourge with the Helix. So we need to be wary of that. The Foothills makes it so they get to not only play out Urian, but also hold up Helix. And now they finally have a target for their Renin 6. Abundant Growth on the island draws a card. Which now makes it... nope. I was going to say it makes it so that way our Scourge doesn't die, but our Scourge still dies. Upkeep, and now we draw... What do we draw? We draw a second Battle Rage. Okay. Pushes Goyf. Then Helixes. Yep. Deals 3, gains 3, kills off. Put Lurrus to hand, pass the turn. Pings us for 1. The fact that Rin's going towards face here is concerning. I guess because it makes Urian a 2-turn clock, right? It's a 4? Yeah, it's 4/5. So if they cast Urian here, they then have Urian plus a ring pin. Plays down second Rin, gets rid, pings us. Probably plays out Fury in here and bounces both of those. Yep, that's Furion mana. Decides to tap differently, making me question if they have Niv. They do not. Okay, so we don't know what their hand is anymore. I'm assuming they're gonna bounce probably all of their Abundant Growth, Utopia Sprawls into Fairies. And Planeswalkers, I mean. We'll be at 8. We take 4 plus 1. We'll be at 3. If they have a Bolt effect, we lose. If they don't, we're fine. Ideally, we want land off the top here. They draw 2 there. Land. I needed to specify land that we didn't have to shock in for. I mean, we'll be at 1. 1's not dead. No Lurrus, and then so hit for 4, then hit for 8, so hit for 12 versus hit for 14. I can't do him. I have to do Scourge because of how I tapped for Lurrus. They have the counterspell, we lose. We'll be at 1 here. They ping. Show me you've got another point of damage. Okay. All right. Facing Niv deck. Arguably, we could bring in Damping Sphere. I don't think it's really worth it. Yeah, I agree with what we did. And we can take out a Lavamancer here. Yeah, take out a Lavamancer, bring in Kroxa. We just need to be a bit more on the aggressive side. Not focus too much on that Renin 6 early like we did. Nope. Very much flooded. Sure, we can keep a hand like this. As far as what we're putting back. We'll put back the Overgrown too. Upkeep. Now we head on. Let's go Peatland. Green Drinker, pass turn. Triome tapped and passes. All right. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a Blood Crypt. Shock it in. Level up once, level up twice. Just to give ourselves a nice threat. We go down to 18. Show me your Renin 6. Ping the guy right now. Make me cry. Yep. Upkeep, we draw Thoughtseize, huh? So Thoughtseize tapping this way would give us, make it 12, which is just a dead shadow. Put Lurrus to hand and pass the turn. Next turn we can Thoughtseize, Shadow. Hey, look at that. They have a fetch land. So they now get to start color fixing. Does it in that way? Okay. We could bobble here. Let's go ahead and Thoughtseize, see what they've got. So we're staring down Omnath, Bring to Light, Kaya's Guile. So what are we more scared of? An Omnath or a Bring to Light? Bring to Light hits Niv. Omnath's just a 4/4. Just a 4/4. The best 4/4 that they could possibly have. We'll take Bring to Light. Go down to 11, have out some 2/2s. Shadow, Bubble. And let's put a stop on there. Upkeep. Pass the turn. Red, white, Helix is one. Okay. Goes down to 20. Gets themselves their Triome. Upkeep, let's see what they're drawing for the turn. An Abundant Growth. Okay. Probably Breeding Pool, play down the Abundant Growth, and then have a Guile. Okay. Using the Guile and Exile. Makes sense. Makes it so this Lurrus is absolutely awful. And they do that and get their Catacombs. Plays Breeding Pool. Other hand is Abundant Growth, Omnath, double Catacomb. Makes sense, so they can go Omnath and then have 5 mana still. We double draw here. Draw and draw. Goyf's pretty bad. And I'm pretty sure we're going to lose from this point. Just from the aspect of, I'm assuming this is going to be Omnath into fetch land, fetch, have 6 mana, and then I'm assuming they have Niv in hand, because always assume the worst from opponent. We go Utopia Sprawl first. There's the Omnath. Then they gain life, and now they make mana. We know that their hand is Abundant Growth, Verdant Catacombs, one unknown. It's Niv, because why would it not be? And miss. Hits Trophy, Helix, Prismari, and Teferi. Well, from this point, I don't really see us getting out of here. Like, Goyfs are 2/3s. We can make Goyfs 3/4s. Hold the Goyf back. And they push. Yeah. Begins combat. Swings for 10. Green, black, Trophy the Niv. Now they need to... I'm pretty sure they still have it with Prismari command. Right, Prismari and Helix is 5. And they have the mana to do it. Oh, and we also gave them a land drop, which makes Omnath deal 4. And then they go for the Ren ping. All right. 0-1 to start us off here. Bit unfortunate. Not surprising. I probably played that extremely poorly. There was probably a lot that I could have done differently. But, you know, the lines that Shadow takes are just not really my alleyway. We won the die roll. We'll gladly take the play. Do this. Reveal Lurrus. We've got Shadow, Bolt, Bobble, Bloodstained Mire. We'll try this. It's an awkward line of what we do for a turn 2 Shadow. But it's a line. This and Bobble. Let's Bobble ourselves here. See what we're drawing. Goyf. I like that as a backup plan. Black Cleave, Cliffs, and Thoughtseize. Okay. So we're facing red, black, mid-range is my guess based on the land and the Thoughtseize. They take the Goyf. Step, fetch, shock. Bolt ourselves. Another Shadow. Shadow. Pass turn. Marsh Flats. Is this Mardu? As Bolt. Thoughtseize. Not bad, not bad. Let's see what we're working with from opponents. So I dislike Blood Moon. However, they don't really have anything if we take in either of these. So we'll take the Pyromancer. Go down to 10 and play out a Death Shadow. We can combat hit opponent for 3. They fetch, get themselves probably basic swamp. Yep. The funny thing is, if they take their turn to moon, they take 6. Okay. They like their Blood Moon. Swing for 6. Take him to 8. And now have to Channeler. Bloodsin Mire, they've got 2 unknown plus Channeler in hand. They need a way to block or they're dead. All right. So Swamp off the top wins us this game. Hmm. I'm glad that the Blood Moon bait was good enough. Because we really didn't need the Blood Moon. Seasoned Pyromancer. Make some blockers. Is that what we're about to see here? Two damage, we discard a card. Okay. We have to discard our push, and now you've got 1 unknown in a swamp. You go down to 2. If we have Bolt, you lose. TBR, you lose. Hexdrinker, huh? Okay. Take opponent down to 2. Channeler ain't enough. It's only 1. Pyromancer Channeler have to double jump. I'm okay with this. Yep, this is double jump. Turn him sideways. Blood Moon. It does things. But so does Shadow. Okay. Doesn't want us to see our next card. Oh, Scourge. Okay. Not relevant because not swamp. But hey. Okay, so facing red, black, mid-range. We've got a basic of each kind. I like Unravel as a way to deal with. Unravel and Trophy seems decent as ways to deal with Blood Moon. I don't think we're too scared of Blood Moon. We just need to be aware that it's a card that they'll probably play and fetch basics early and not be as greedy on our keeps. Other than that, Push is good, Lavamancer is good, Battle Rage. All of these aren't bad. I think we definitely take out Unravel. I don't think we board anything in here. Like, Inquisition's not terrible. Thoughtseize is pretty good. Lavamancer and Bolt deals with things. Hexdrinker seems mediocre against a deck that has so much removal. We could take out Hexdrinker, bring in trophies. We can't do Kroxa because we don't have double black if they have down on Blood Moon. K returns not awful. Go ahead and reveal Lurrus. And has way too many lands. But it would allow us to mana fix. We would never have to worry about a blood. We would never have to worry about a Blood Moon. However, we can do better. There we go. I don't have any disruption early. But we do have a go get basic swamp. Go get basic forest and then have a blood crypt. Not that basic forest is needed too terribly, but it will allow us to play our choice and trophy. Goes for the pathway. Passes. Uh-oh, opponent. Thoughtseize? Goyf. Okay. The Bloodstained Mire and pass the turn. They don't have any ramp that we're afraid of. They go Black Cleave into Channeler. Okay. Let's go ahead and get ourselves our basic swamp. Go ahead and get Channeler out of the way. Pass the turn. There you go, Marsh Flats. Red, black, Wildfire. Okay. This will still be Fetch Shock. Because we are Shadow. That, shock it in. Drain that Goyf. They fetch for the marsh flats, probably get themselves basic swamp, meaning they're probably about to blood moon or push. Flings are push. Okay. Does not shrink the Goyf at all, but does draw them a card. Inquisitions us. They can take whatever threat they're scared of. Probably a shadow. None of them are scary from the aspect of I can't really play any of them. I mean, I can play the Scourge. It's a 1/1, which then grows to a 5/5 after attacks if the Goyf connects. Let's probably take the Scourge if they don't have removal. That tapped, and then they have 2. Croxa makes us discard. Okay. We'll discard K return. Croxa goes to bin. Upkeep, we draw. Yes. Beautiful. This fetch and shock. Play out a nice 2/2. Go to combat. Swing with Goyf. Knock him down. Damage happens. And now we play out our 5/5. Go ahead, opponent. Make me discard with Croxa. I dare you on this board state. It's funny. Ideally, we draw land here so we can put Lurrus in the hand. And then they try to Croxa. And then we pitch a land, growing our Death Shadow. They're also a card short, aren't they? Nope, they've got exactly enough. And so they could do that and shrink our Goyf down to a 3/4. Not terrible. And shrinks the Goyf by 1, but grows our Shadow by 3. Looks like that's what they're going with. Okay. This we lose 3. Opponents got a 6/6. Upkeep, we draw. We draw K return. Interesting. And that's an instant. We'll swing with the Scourge. See if opponent wants to block. They're tapped out, so they can only decide if they want to block or not. If they block, we K return. If they don't, we pass. And with Grixis trigger on the stack, K return. Interesting choice from us here. Might just be K return in the main phase, too, even if they don't block. Okay, they go to block. Kozilek's return. 2 damage gets marks on everything. Those will trade. And we pass the turn. We're at 8. Bobble wouldn't be a bad draw. Tarmogoyf. Bobble, sorcery. Yeah, either of those. Or TBR. And TBR doesn't win, but it knocks him down to 2. This also might be a put Lurrus into hand play. Because if we put Lurrus into hand here, we won't have it. We can play out a shadow. And we play down Lurrus. Not awful. Flings the shadow. Well, there goes that plan. Do that. Cast Bobble. See what they're drawing. Another Cling, huh? Well, that's a nice card for them. As push. As push. Cool. We draw off of Bobble. Nice. They probably Cling our Shadow here. Dot seizes to take the Lurrus and then Cling Shadow. It might be take Skyclave, Cling Shadow. Because they can't really afford to take 2. Because that'll grow the Scourge way too big. And this sorcery grows the Goyf as well. They take the Lurrus. Kling's Bobble. To shrink the Goyf back to 4. Upkeep, we draw Bobble. Nice Kling opponent. See what they're drawing. A Wildfire, that's fine. Cast Scourge, Combat, Swing. And they can't Wildfire and Kroxa. Opponent's down to 7. We've got a 12-12. Bolts us, we go down to 5. Okay, I know what you're drawing. Kroxa won't be enough. They are going for the Kroxa, pitching their graveyard. This does remove our TBR from hand, which is unfortunate. Yep, we discard TBR. But their Kroxa has to block this Scourge. And we know that their hand is Wildfire. Upkeep, we draw bolts. Nice draw. Begin combat. Attack with both. Kroxa has to block the 13. Opponent goes down to 3. Bolt him. There we go. Taken down black-red midrange as Jun's Shadow. Who needs our black source anyway? I mean, they never played out Blood Moon, so we played around a card that they never drew. Go ahead and reveal this Lurrus. And we've got Thoughtseize, Scourge, and Bobble. Try it. Advantage, so burn. Yep. Burn. Makes me not want to shock here, so we won't. Inquisition, save us some life here. Let's see what opponent's doing. Wow. Eidolon, Charm. Well, let's go ahead and get this Bobble off before this Eidolon comes down. Upkeep, see what they're drawing. They're drawing Lava Spike. Eidolon comes in. So Thoughtseize currently reads take Charm at nothing. Push. Okay. Like that card. And another Thoughtseize. That hurts. So this... I mean, it has to be a black source. Let's go ahead and make it black-green. Push the Eidolon. Yeah, Eidolon's gonna smack us. Now we Thoughtseize away the Boros Charm. So their hand is just Islet Lava Spike. Just. That, and they Lava Spike us. They've got one unknown in hand. Down to 7 we go. Upkeep, we draw. We draw terribly. Thoughtseize them. See what this last card is. It's a Boros Charm. Nice. We take 3, we take 2. Yep, we go down to 1. Cast the Scourge of the Skyclaves. Fade a burn spell for all eternity time. So needless to say, we lose game 1 here. We're not fading burn spells left, right, and center. Yeah. Alright. Burn. Thoughtseize. Get out. No, thank you. Okay, return's not awful. Another Battle Rage, because we need to fill up. And I guess Trophy? Sure. We now need to not flood. It's also burn, so I don't think that we ever really had a chance. I just don't think that Shadow has a good burn matchup. As somebody who's played burn a good amount of time, if the burn player knows what they're doing, they can kill the Shadow player. Love to take the play. Kill the Lurrus. No. Sure. It's awkward as all heck, but we'll try it. Swamp Bobble, pass turn. On their upkeep, see what they're drawing. Swiss Spear. Alright. Yep. They've got a 1-2. Problem is, we don't have a fetch land to grow our Goyf. Ideally, we hit a fetch land here. That way we can grow Goyf outside of bolt range. Shadow ain't it. Shadow ain't it. Second land for opponent. They go fetching. It's basic mountain. Red Eidolon? Sure. It's in for 1. I don't know if that's what you want to be doing, opponent. Okay, we draw a red source. We'll go ahead and play out the Goyf. We take 2 to do so, but Goyf grows. That's all that matters. We can't use it to block this turn. Not that we would anyway. Driftbolt is suspended. And they don't do anything? Okay. Upkeep, we draw another Goyf. Okay. We're gonna Boros Charm, deal 4 to us. Taking some damage to do so. We'll take 4 here. Upkeep, if Bolt comes off suspension, they need another instant. And we will K return in response to the prowess trigger. Let's see if they want to try to save their Swift Spear. They do not. They take 2. We go down to 5. Hope they don't have triple spell or double spell. Skewer, we go to 2. And looks like we'll be at 2. We need to draw at this point. Not that. Inquisition. See if they're slow rolling. They've been slow rolling. Gotta love it. Roiling Vortex and Deflecting Palm. Okay. Swing for 6. Take him down to 8. Beta burn spell. And draw Teamer Battle Rage off the top. Was not able to fade the burn spell. Okie doke. They win the match. Burn does burn things. Could have played a bit differently there. I don't really... I think with what we had, we played correctly. But I'm sure there's something that I could have done differently to win that game. I still don't think we win that match, though. 1-2. And we won the die roll. Reveal the Lurrus here. So... Thoughtseize, Hexdrinker, Bauble. A problem here is we only have Myers. We'll try it. It's not the best in the world, but it's not awful. Turn 1 dot C's into turn 2 double drinker, or single drinker plus level up. Fetch shock dot C's. Well, I don't like whatever they're doing, but we'll get rid of Nahiri. Bobbles, see what they're drawing. They're drawing a Vivian. So Foothills, fetch, and then probably Reclaimer here. Slamming Unshocked in. Reclaimer, yep. Can't say I'm surprised. Scourge, huh? Go ahead and play down the Hexdrinker and level it up. Tech Edge is what they play. Want to hold their Vesuva. Makes sense. Fetch for a swamp. Okay. Okay. Bush. Stacks Tech Edge to go get themselves the land. Get themselves Flagstone, and then there goes their dude. We go down to 13, and now Scourge is a 7/7. So Scourge plus Drinker here. Because even if they have a Reclaimer, they probably, I mean, Reclaimer, Flagstones, Sacks of Suva. Makes sense as it is just tapped. Basically just a fetch land at that point. So even with our land drop, we can't. We have a 3/4. That's fine. This fetch and shock. Combat swing for 4. Doesn't block. It goes down to 9. Second main, we go Hexdrinker. We go Hexdrinker. We go Scourge. Give him a board state to be worried about. And is Knight Vivian to unknown. Okay. So they could Knight here. They do not. Give ourselves a good amount of 4/4s. Take opponent down to 1. Unless they have a creature with flash. And we could have swung lethal there. I was worried about them having Flash Blast Zone. That's a fun one. They can't use their Windswept Heath until they play their Knight of Autumn. Yep. So they can either blow up Blast Zone, die to the Scourge, or Knight of Autumn, and then have a board state. All right. So facing green-white value town. I can't think of anything that we want. I guess maybe Sphere, but they didn't seem to be Karoo land based. Go ahead and reveal this Lurrus. And we've got multiple shadows and a Skyclaves. Interesting. So fetch shock. We're not doing anything until turn 3 with this hand. Seems a bit slow. We'll keep 6, bottom of bolt. Stomping Grounds tapped. Passes the turn. Peatland pass. Flagstones does nothing? This fetch shock. And Goyf is a 1-2. We'll pass. Makes it so that way we can trophy if need be, have a bolt, have a push. They fetch. Sure. 1, 2, 3, Dryad. Yeah, Dryad's a card. Vesuva enters as a copy of Flagstones. Sacks Flagstones. Goes and gets something. Green black trophy. Throw Goyf to a good sizable creature. Upkeep we draw pretty well. We'll go down. Green black Goyf pass turn. Have ourselves a 4/5. Arguably it would have been correct to leave up Bolt. Let me guess. Prime time. Yep, prime time. However, doesn't really do much. Gets a Blast Zone and a Valakut. Okay. Go ahead and give that -5/-5 and bolt it. Ring for 4. When it's down to 15, we've got double push, but double push doesn't do much against their board state. Especially if they have another prime time. Okay, a Vivian. Which allows them to make a 3/3. Sacred Foundry tapped. Blast Zone probably goes up and they make a 3/3 to block. At least is their plan. A 3/3 with a Vigilance. Nice. Upkeep we draw a Scourge. Go ahead and push the token out of the way. Combat attack Vivian for 4. There goes Vivian. And I'm assuming Blast Zone goes up to 2. Yep. Another Valakut. At this point, I want to draw a card. Okay. Nice. At this. Let's bobble ourselves, see what we're drawing. A swamp. Okay, well, we'll get rid of that card because I don't want another land. But we'll go ahead and swing, see if they want to crack their Blast Zone. Assuming they do. Nice, there goes the Blast Zone. Cast Scourge. And we will fetch for an Overgrown Tomb tapped. We draw a Goyf. Nice. Another land here will basically seal this deal. Celestial Purge. Okay. Land. It's not a land. Goyf. Pass turn. Got 3 in hand. Turn Goyf sideways. It takes 3. Or 6. Second Goyf. And a Shadow. Helix is there. Gains themselves 3. Fine by us. And there we go. Jund Shadow doing Jund Shadow things. 2 and 2. Both of our wins have been decidedly so. One of our losses was decidedly so, and the other one, I feel we probably could have turned into a win. It go Bazaar 11. So we've got a Scourge and a Goyf. Sure, we'll try it. One mulligan to 5, so they're definitely Tron. Just from the aspect of mulligan quickly like that and a Gigantha. Makes me go Tron. Tower map. Yep. Upkeep, we draw a shadow. Not terrible. This fetch. Shock. Pass turn. Blast Zone is what they play. Interesting. Star and Relic. Okay. Gonna eat a land from our graveyard. That's fine. So this Goyf is not going to be able to get very big. Trophy. That's a nice one. This fetch and shock. Play out a 3/3. Hope they don't have spatial contortion main board. And they go searching with map. Get themselves a mine. Do they play the mine? They play the mine. And then they play out another map. Sure. They've got one in hand. Let's see what it is. I'm assuming this is a whiff. Sure. You get to exile or Wooded Foothills. It's a map. Nice. It's actually the greatest for us because this plus trophy of the map means they're doing nothing for a while. Exile cards from all graveyards. To 14 they go. Cracks the star because they're trying to find stuff. They lost 3 maps there. So I don't think they're going to be able to find much. They find a tower, and then they have a relic. Okay. I'm assuming that they have a payoff in hand now. Upkeep, we draw another Scourge. And cast a second Scourge here. Swing for 6. And we'll have some 8/8s. We won't play out the shadow in case their payoff is Ugin and they make it to the point where they can cast it. So, did you hit the land? No, but they hit Stirring, so try to find it. Did they find the power plant? Drum roll. Nope. Sphere is what they find. Okay. So they need to crack this, hit exactly power plant. They do not. And they lose. All right. There we go. So facing Tron, camping spheres coming, bushes come out. And trophies come in. Anything else that we care to bring in? No, no, this looks good. Let's try it and see how we can do. Go ahead and do a Lurrus. Yeah, we keep this. Reason for the keep is turn 1 Thoughtseize, and then we have Hexdrinker, Shadow, and Scourge as threats and a TBR. Mine and map. Bit concerning. This fetch and shock. Let's see what their threat is. Their threat is an Emrakul. I mean, if they have the TBR, they have the or if they have the Karn, they'd have to have 2. So they'll assemble Tron here, but will it matter? This fetch and shock. Because we can go green drinker and black shadow. They go ahead and search, get their last Tron piece. And so they have Tron, but no payoff and no colored to find a payoff off this stirrings yet. Oh, they choose to wait a turn in stirrings. Okay. What threat do they find? They don't find a threat. They play out a relic. They get relic and then play it. Okay. Upkeep, and then we draw Bloodstained Mire. Okay. This fetch and shock one last time. Saying that gives us a 4/4. And if we hit for 6, need a pretty strong payoff here. Make it so they have to have exactly Ugin. Because Karn here won't save them. Karn can get rid of either the Scourge or the Shadow. Scourge, we grow to 6. Or if they get rid of the Scourge, we grow Shadow to 6. And have TBR +4. Karn the Great Creator, down tick, go get Bridge. Play Bridge, hope that I don't have removal. Okay. That's a stall for a bit. Upkeep, we draw Hexdrinker again. I really dislike drawing all these Hexdrinkers, man. Go ahead and do that like so. Shock in to grow the Shadow. Level up. And hit Karn for 2. Take Karn down to 1. So that way they can't do anything with Karn for now. We've got a couple of outs. Stirrings finds some big threat. All is dust. I mean, go ahead, cast the All is Dust. And now they get what? Woolly Yep. We sacrifice all of our things, but we already have a Lurrus in hand. So us sacking doesn't matter. I need to find... Okay, we've got to deal with a Karn, Ulamog, and an unknown. Odds of us coming back are slim to none. But slim to none does not mean impossible. Go ahead and fetch for our basic swamp. Pass the turn. Hope they don't hit another tower. They get a blast zone instead. They can't use blast zone and Karn. Oh, they have Ugin? Nope. Just wanted to tap the blast zone and have one floating. Target player exiles a card from their hand. I mean, we exile the Hexdrinker because if we hit Assassin's Trophy, we just win here. Trophy off the top. One time. Pow. Trophy. That is not Assassin's Trophy. Cast off of the Lurrus. Nothing that I have can attack. The foothills fetching tree. Yeah, if only. It's an end. Exiles Lurrus. Makes sense. Cracks the sphere. Plays out mine. 2, 4, 6. Yep, and that's 10. Ulamog exiles both of our Scourges, at which point let's go ahead and move on if he hits both their creatures. Hits 2 lands. Understandable. That's us off of red. Down ticks with Karn and finds... just so we can see more of what their toolbox is. Liquimetal, okay. Upkeep, we draw Scourge. So the Liquimetal kind of does us in here. They can't attack with their Ulamog for a while, but eventually they'll get there. Okay. Or they'll just have an O-Stone. That'll do it. Because they pop O-Stone, this has destroy each non-land permanent. This is indestructible. It's Tron. They always draw nuts. So they get rid of their bridge and then they get to swing for 10. Alright. This time, let's, see one of our 5 hate pieces. Love to take the play, reveal the Lurrus. Might not have been directly off of Relic, but it was sometime shortly thereafter. We'll keep, just because it allows us early disruption and into redraws galore. Never good when the Tron player keeps 7. Catacombs, Fetch Shock, Inquisition, and is 2 pieces and a search. Get rid of their search. And a bobble bobble. See what they're drawing. A forest is what they're drawing. Nice. We'll draw off a bobble. They'll go mine, star, or sphere, sure. See what they're drawing next turn. Another mine. Okay. As we draw. Here we go. Now we draw an Inquisition. So we could take a star to stop them from having a redraw. I don't feel that's what we want to be doing, though. That, fetch and shock. We'll go ahead and just Hexdrinker and level it up once. Okay. So tower and star. Upkeep this, we draw. Okay. And so I'm a bit scared of them having Tron next turn. We're gonna go ahead and be greedy here. And just trophy. Get them off of the tower. Sure, you can draw a card. And go ahead and play down the shadow as a 2/2. You know, 4 of their cards in their hand, but they won't have Tron next turn. And so we can go ahead and Inquisition relatively safely. They scrying, find themselves a Tron piece. Power plant plays power plant. Yep. And then a mat. All right. Go ahead and Inquisition them. Karn Liberated is what they found. Knock him down. And trophy the power plant. Power the trophy plant. Exactly. All right. For what? Karn? O-Stone. Okay. So they have O-Stone next turn. Not a fan of that. So we'll do this. We'll level up. And we'll get in for 4. Knock him down to 10. So they play out Forest. Their hand is Karn Liberated, Ugin, Karn the Great Creator, and one unknown. So, okay. Looks like they're just passing, which is smart. They'll lose this map. Go ahead and level up, and it's protection from instants. so I can't target my thing anymore. Because I'm smart. Debatable. No, it's relatable. They go ahead and blow up the world. That's fine by us. And we'll go ahead and play out Lurrus and a bobble. That way we can see what opponents are drawing here. Drawing a power plant. Nice. Because they had to blow up their map. Thoughtseize. There we go. Thoughtseize, double shadow. Because they do this, they go Karn the Great Creator. They try to find themselves some more time by going down and getting bridge, and we tell them that's a nice bridge. However, doesn't do what you want to do. They could get liquid metal coating and play that here. If they went that route, we're in a bit of trouble. Well, no, they shut off a land. We hit them with, or we hit the Karn with Lurrus. We can't shadow, but that's fine. They crypt. Okay. Crypt, exile our yard. And then they stirrings. Find themselves tower. Alright, we're in a bit of a predicament. Upkeep, draw. Or we'll just draw like a god. I hit Karn here for 3. Karn goes bye-bye. And now we'll Thoughtseize once. Get rid of Ugin. Thoughtseize a second time. Get rid of Karn. And now their hand is tower. I should have played out Shadow. Oh well. Tower, Gigantha to hand, play Gigantha. Yep. Alright. One unknown. They really don't want to be swinging at this point when they're at 10. If this happens, we draw a Hexdrinker. Not bad. Have ourselves a 3/3 Hexdrinker. Level up twice. Don't swing with the Lurrus past the turn. Alright, what do they have on the top of their deck? A Wormy Boy. So you mean the best possible card for them? Scourge, baby. And go ahead and grow the Hexdrinker a bit and pass the turn. Am I right or am I right? Sometimes. Sphere. They're drawing 2 perfect. I mean, it's Tron. It's what they do. See? These last draws haven't been perfect. They're cycling to try to find more. Now they can map. So they map here. Get Blast Zone, play Blast Zone, use Blast Zone. Oh my god. Swings with Worm Coil. That definitely isn't correct. Okay. Bloodstained Mire. So the problem is this Lurrus gains me life. Is there a way for me to get through everything? So Lurrus gaining life would then mean we only deal... No, we'd still deal the 10. We'd get rid of both their Giganta and their Worm Coils. They would have a lifelink Death Touch token. We'd lose our Shadow and Drinker. And we play out the Bloodstain, we swing out here. All right. We can do that. Attack with everything. If they block with only one thing on this Scourge, they lose. They go ahead and pop. Sure. Gets rid of both the middle creatures. Blocks Worm Coil there and Giganta there. GG's, opponent. Give me Battle Rage. Six and 4 during first strike. Opponent doesn't gain any life. They make some tokens, and then they take 10. There we go. They could have stalled for a turn by, instead of hitting, or if they had double blocked, they then would have killed their Worm Coil, gained 3 off of the Lurrus, and hit them for damage. They would have their Giganta. No, they'd lose their Giganta and their Worm Coil in that process, but then they have 2 blockers still. And we'd have out a Hexdrinker again. So, pros and cons to both. Overall, Jund Shadow, fun list. I don't really think it's my play style, although Channel Fireball seems to disagree. Other than that, it was fun playing the deck, but just it's fun playing the deck, and there's interesting lines to it. Definitely one to pick up if you're into this sort of strategy. It's very powerful, and if you go with either the Jund or the Grixis Shell, you can then port between the two relatively easily. Your fetch base changes and your shocks change, so that's a bit on the expensive side. and then your sideboard changes depending. But it's, you know, they play very differently. I personally like the Jund version, but anyway, we'll see what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.